Now we will study hygiene's theory. Here there are primary and secondary sources of light. There are several light sources around us. Natural sources are sun and moon, stars, and artificial sources are light bulbs, tube lights, CFL lamps, LED lamps, so on and so forth. The sources of light in hygiene's theory are classified into two parts: primary sources, secondary sources. What are primary sources here? Primary sources are those sources which emit the light on their own because of the high temperature which they have, and they have some kind of nuclear fission or fusion on their surfaces, because of which large amount of heat energy and light energy is being emitted. Then the effect of current passing through them can also give us light effect, like a light bulb, then comes your tube light, then comes LED light, then comes CFL lamps. Then we have certain chemical or nuclear reactions which are responsible for producing light effect, as it happens in firecrackers, nuclear generators. Light originates in these sources. Now, what are the secondary sources? Secondary sources are those sources which do not produce light on their own, but they receive light from some other source or the primary source. They either reflect or scatter the light around them. Example includes the moon, the planets, objects like humans, animals, plants, which would see the reflected light. Majority of the sources that we see in our daily life are secondary sources. The secondary sources can be further explained. Now, what is a wavefront? Now, we have seen that when we drop a stone on the surface of the water, surface waves, commonly known as ripples, are generated, which travel outwards from the point O where the stone touches the water. The water particles along the path of the wave move up and down perpendicular to the surface. The phase of the wave at point is defined by the state of motion of the particle at that point, as well as the distance of the point from the source. This information is available in chapter number 8 of standard 11th. Two particles are in phase and have the same phase if their state of motion is the same. If they have same velocity and displacement perpendicular to the surface of the water, if they are at the same distance from the source. So, all the waves traveling symmetrically in all directions along the water surface, all particles along the circumference of the circle with center at O will have same phase. The locus of all the points having the same phase at a given instant of time is called as wavefront. Wavefront is the locus of all the points where waves starting simultaneously from O reach at the same distance in the given instance of time. In case of water waves, wavefronts are circle centered at O. The direction of propagation of the wave is perpendicular to the wavefront along the radius of the circle or the radii of the circles formed. The speed with which the wavefront moves is the speed of the wave. Water waves are two-dimensional along the surface. Three-dimensional waves like sound waves produced by source of sound or light waves produced by light source travel in all directions away from the source and propagate in three dimensions. Such a wave is called as spherical wave. Means this wave travels in three directions. In these cases, the wavefronts are the surfaces passing through all the points having the same phase. In this case, they are the spheres centered at the source at O. The spheres are the cross sections of the circles seen in the figure. They are called as wavefronts with the sources at their center. The arrows are perpendicular to the spherical surface and show the direction of propagation. These arrows are the rays of light that have considered in the earlier study of optics. Wavefront shown in the figure corresponds to the diverging beam of the light. We can see or similarly have wavefronts corresponding to an converging beam of light. Such wavefronts can be produced after passing through a lens. Now let us consider the spherical wavefront and the relation of the spherical wavefront in the Huygens principle. Let us now consider a spherical wavefront which traveled a large distance away from the source. If we take small portion of this wavefront, it will appear to be a plane surface. Just like the surface of the earth around us appears to be flat to us, with the direction of the propagation perpendicular to it. In such cases, it is called as plane wave. Wavefronts for a plane wave are shown in 7.1b figure, which is right next to us. So here is our 7.1b figure. Plane wavefront corresponding to parallel beam of light. These are called plane waves. Again we come back. If the source of light is linear or a line, then the fronts are cylindrical. Matlab, if you have a straight line and you curl your fingers around it, around the finger, curl your fingers of other hand, you will experience that there is a cylindrical wavefront. Then comes Huygens principle. What happens in Huygens principle has assumed light to be a wave, similar to the mechanical wave, like the water wave or the sound wave, propagating in ether. Accordingly, the particles of the ether oscillate due to the propagation of light. He put forth a principle which makes it possible to determine the shape of the wavefront at any instance of time t given by its shape at an earlier time. This principle can be stated by each point on a wavefront acts like a secondary source of light, emitting secondary light waves called as wavelets in all directions, which travel with the speed of light in the medium. A new wavefront can be obtained by taking the envelope of these secondary wavelets traveling in forward direction, and thus the envelope of the secondary wavelets in the forward direction. The wavelets traveling in the backward direction are ineffective. Given time t equal to 0, we have that the shape could be determined. Later, the time changes to capital T using Huygens principle. Let us first consider the plane wavefront AB corresponding to parallel rays at t equal to 0 in the cross section of which is shown in 7.2 figure. According to Huygens principle, each point on this wavefront will act like a secondary source of light and will emit spherical wavelets as shown in the figure. Now we will go to figure 7.2a to check out what exactly happened. This is what Huygens wanted to say. Now, since he has shown that the wavelets traveling in the forward direction are effective and in the backward direction are ineffective, at later time instance t, you will see from wherever the light started traveling, that is AB is the source of your light. When it traveled a small distance of t, the secondary wavelets were formed at the intersection of the two intersection of two, what you can say, semicircles. Those points are called as secondary wavelets, or intersection of primary wavelets generating secondary sources. And then further, when they went on traveling, it was called as secondary wavelets. The wavelets emitted in the forward direction by points on AB will be hemispheres. Since I said the word semicircles because it was two-dimensional. If it is three-dimensional, it will become hemisphere. At the time t, the radius, at the time capital T, the radius of the spheres will be Vt. The distance traveled by them will be Vt, and an envelope will be developed by the spherical surface A dash B dash. Then Huygens theory is a empirical theory. There is no reason why back traveling of waves will not be effective. The theory was not just accepted but just explained, just because it explained various optical phenomena of light. Then in the next part we will be studying reflection of light at the plane surface.